Okay, next topic is power and the Poynting vector. In this, how our EM waves are going to be transmitting, and what is the power equation, and also in which direction our EM waves, that is electromagnetic waves, is going to be transmitting. That those equations will be learning in this class. Energy can be transmitted from one point, that is from one transmitter where it is located, to the another point where the receiver is going to be receiving the information. That is, energy can be transported or transmitted from one point to another point by means of an electromagnetic waves. That's what we in the previous class what I told. The same thing here it is written. Then the rate of such energy, what is the equation we can go with? Energy transportation can be obtained again from, we are going to be using of our Maxwell's equation only. In this case, we will be considering the Maxwell's equation as del cross electric field intensity, that is E, that is going to be equals to minus mu dou H divided by dou T. This one equation we will be using, and in terms of your magnetic field, that is del cross H is going to be sigma E plus sigma E plus epsilon dou E divided by dou T. The same equations what it we taken previously. Again using of those equation. If you remember in some topic we taken their cross product. Here we are going to be using a dot product. Taking a dot product on both sides of equation 2 with E. That is, with E we will be taking the dot product of equation 2. Then E dot del cross H is going to be equals to, if I multiply whole with E, then E into E is going to be E square. Observe here, it is after multiplication of two vectors, it is going to be a scalar quantity. For that reason, you should not write a bar here. Okay. Then sigma E square plus E dot, when I multiply here, epsilon dou E divided by dou T. Then the vector, when I multiply here, that is del cross A cross B, it's going to be B dot del cross A minus A dot del cross B. This is the basic equation. Like, okay, in this case A is going to be taken as H and B is taken as E. Observe here, B is taken as E, then H is taken as A. Means the equation what is there in the left hand side is nothing but the intermediate equation of this in the right side. So when I'm keeping this part here and moving this right hand side equation to the left hand side, so your minus is going to be a plus, and replacing A with H and B with E. When I write the equation based on this, observe here, just instead of A we can write here as H dot del cross, instead of B here it is E, plus del dot A is H and E is B is E. That's what here it is written. That is going to be equals to the remaining part of this. That is sigma E square plus, this is a vector E. Okay, E dot epsilon dou E divided by dou T. Then that is nothing but I can write here as, when I multiply here these two, I'll be getting as sigma E square plus 1 by 2 times epsilon dou by dou T of E square. This if I multiply, I'll be getting as E square here, and taking this equation as 4. Next, then based on this, observe here, why we taken it here 1 by 2, here the condition dou E square by dou T. When I multiply here, in this case it's going to be dou divided by dou T of E dot E, that is nothing but keeping one thing and differentiating other, and the same thing differential property when it is of multiplying two any of the two variables, the same equation what we will be doing in the differential, here also we done the same. That is E dot dou E by dou T plus E dot dou E by dou T. Here it's, if I add these two, you'll be getting as 2 E dot dou E by dou T. That's what, based on this we written the equation here. This E dou E by dou T we can write here as, if I take this to 1 by 2 here, therefore 1 by 2 dou E square divided by dou T. The same thing here it is written. Hope you are getting of this. Then taking again a dot product for equation 1, instead of we already taken for equation 2 and we got the solution for the electromagnetic intensity and magnetic field intensity as equation 4, and taking the dot product again for the equation 1 of equation 1 and with H. Here we taken as E, here we have to take as H. Then H dot del cross E is going to be, for this now you will be taking with the H dot. The same thing here it is written here, H dot del cross E is going to be equals to H dot minus mu dou H divided by dou T. In the same way what we taken here, how it is done equation, the same thing it is going to be here taken as minus mu divided by 2 dou divided by dou T of H dot H. Therefore equation 4 becomes, observe here what we will be doing, now just you are substituting this equation in terms of minus mu by 2 dou by dou T of H dot H, when equation is going to be minus mu divided by, this will be H square dou H square divided by dou T of minus delta dot E cross H is going to be sigma E square plus 1 by 2 sigma alpha epsilon naught dou E square divided by dou T. This is what the equation you will be getting. That equation 4 is going to be changing here. Why its sign is changed? Observe here, instead of H cross E, here it is written as E cross H. When it is cross products are changing, the sign will be changing. This is basic property. Based on that, here it is written. That's it. Then rearranging terms and taking. Now we are going to be considering of volume integral of both sides of the equation. Then the equation is going to be volume integral del dot E cross H into dV is going to be, this whole part is taken this side. Therefore minus dou by dou T integration 1 by 2 epsilon E square plus 1 by 2 mu H square of dV. For these two cases minus sign taken outside here. Then minus integration V sigma E square into dV. This take this equation 6. Then now we will be applying a divergence theorem to the left hand side of the equation. Therefore instead of volume integral, it will be changing to the surface integral. Here observe here, for the left hand side, only at left hand side if I am going to considering, instead of volume integral, a closed surface integral it will be changing when I apply a divergence theorem. That's what here it is changing, closed integration with surface closed integration E cross H dot ds, instead of del dot E cross H it will be changing with the surface. That is going to be equals to minus, same thing. This part is written as it is here. Next, the equation 7 will be giving the information about this. The left hand side part is the total power leaving the volume is going to be equals to the rate of decrease in energy. Observe here, energy equation is of E square and H square, right? Decrease in energy stored in electric and magnetic fields. It is in terms of electric field and also in terms of magnetic field, minus the ohmic power dissipated, that is sigma E square, that is ohmic power dissipated. Take that equation as 7. Equation 7 is referred to as an Poynting theorem. Equation 7 is nothing but a Poynting theorem. What is this meaning? We'll consider in next case. The various terms in the equations, what it is taken. What's the equation if we return here? The same thing represented in a sentence way here. Next. In the equation are identified using the energy conservation arguments of EM field. The first term, what it is taken on the right hand side of this part of equation 7 is interpreted as the rate of decrease in energy stored in electric and magnetic field. What's the in terms of equation we written the same thing here representing in a sentence case. Then the second term is the power dissipated. This is the power dissipated because the medium is conducting where sigma is not going to be equals to 0. The quantity E cross H on the left hand side of equation 7 is known as a Poynting vector. You should not write a capital P. It's the third letter P with the caps. That's style you have to write to differentiate with the normal power with the Poynting vector. Okay, measured in terms of watts per square meter, that is watts per square meter square, that is P is going to be equals to, it is Poynting vector, don't get confused here, E cross H. Take this as equation 9. Then it represents the instantaneous power density vector associated with the EM field at the given point. What's the instantaneous power it is having for the EM field, what it is going to be generating? That's the information is given by this equation. Then the integration of the Poynting vector over any closed surface gives a net power flowing out of the surface. That is, now you'll be defining what is the Poynting theorem. Poynting theorem states that, this is very important, states that the net power flowing out of a given volume is equal to the time rate of decrease in the energy stored within a volume, that is V, minus the ohmic losses. That's what's the equation we taken. The same thing here it is representing the Poynting theorem. Again I will repeat, the Poynting theorem states that the net power flowing out of a given volume, what is the given volume here, what it is leaving, given volume V is equals to the time rate of decrease in energy, what energy it is stored in terms of electric and magnetic field energy, that's going to be decreasing, energy stored within V minus the ohmic losses. Minus of the ohmic losses is taken separately. That's what is about a Poynting theorem. Figure is telling here how much the power it's going in terms of arrow it is shown, but there is power in here I written, then how much that much power is going to be going out, that is P out. Within this, stored electric energy is going to be decreasing and stored magnetic energy is also going to be decreasing with the minus of ohmic losses, that is with the conductivity due to the conduction of the current, how much it is going to be. The same figure, if clearly it's shown here, same figure only here exactly what diagram is of. Okay, this is stored electrical energy, stored magnetic energy, then it's of a ohmic charge. This is one surface of any of the volume. If you are going to be taking that part, illustration of power balance of the EM field, that is power in and also it's of a power out. Then it should be noted that the Poynting vector is normal to the both. It will be consisting of both electric field and also about the magnetic field, that is E and H, and is therefore along the direction of the wave propagation, that is here it is taken as unit vector AK. When both are in the along with the direction, in which direction it will be moving, that you have to take here. For uniform plane waves, thus AK is going to be AE cross AH. That is for unit vector along with the electric field intensity and also with the magnetic field intensity. Then the fact that the Poynting vector points along AK, why it is going to be, causes our Poynting vector to be regarded as a Poynting vector. Then again, assuming for our equations what we learnt in the previously for electric field intensity and also for the magnetic field intensity, these two equations we already taken. Again, considering of the equation of those, for E, that is E naught e raised to minus alpha z cos omega t minus beta z into with the in the direction of x direction, that is unit vector ax. Then h is going to be E naught divided by eta e raised to minus alpha z cos omega t minus beta z minus theta eta with angle here, that is ay. Then considering equation 9, if I substitute E and H, then I will be getting as our Poynting vector, that is P z of t is going to be equals to, we should multiply here these two, E naught square divided by eta e raised to, when I powers, if I multiply, then you will be getting as adding of those two, minus 2 alpha z cos omega t minus beta z, again cos omega t minus beta z minus theta n. Here it will be changing in the z direction. Observe here, ax, ay, it will be Poynting vector will be moving in the z direction. Then we'll be using of the equation cos a cos b, that is 1 by 2 cos a minus b cos a plus b. The same equation here it is taken. Cos, you will be getting as 1 by 2 e naught square eta mod of eta e raised to minus 2 alpha z, when I omega t minus beta z of minus of this part, you will be getting as cos theta eta plus cos, when I add these two, 2 omega t minus of minus only 2 beta z minus theta eta into az, taking this as equation 10. Then to determine the time average, what is time average Poynting vector, that is P of V of Z in watts per meter square, which is of more practical value than the instantaneous Poynting vector P of Z of t, which is giving a actual value. For that reason, we have to find out what is average value. When you are getting any of the experiments, what you will be taking, you will be preferring for what is the average value you will be getting of that material, of any of the things you are going to be doing a demonstration, right? For that reason, here also the average value will be giving accurate practical value compared to the instantaneous values what we taken in the previous equation. So we'll be integrating equation 10 over a period of t, that is 2 pi by omega. Then you will be getting as Poynting vector p average, time average of z is going to be 1 by t integration 0 to t p z comma t dt. Take this equation 11, and p average of z is going to be, based on this equation, you will be getting as, no need of a derivation part is there here, we will not considering of that, just remember this equation. Just you will be taking the real part of the electric field intensity and also of the magnetic field intensity, that you have to remember here. 1 by 2 of real part of Es with the surface cross Hs. Then substituting equation 10 into the equation 11, then I'll be getting P average of Z is going to be equals to, if I substitute, then E naught square divided by 2 eta e raised to minus 2 alpha z. The next part will be going off, remaining will be cos theta eta into az. Then the total time average power crossing a given surface S is given by P average. Here it will be capital P. Average is going to be integration with the surface. This what we taken, that part, that is P average, that is Poynting vector with the average time dot ds. Then this is what the equation we got. Then what is the difference between what will be representing about Poynting vector, average time Poynting vector, and also of the power crossing, that is P average. The first one, that is P of xyz with respect to time, is Poynting vector in watts per square meter, and it is time varying. The first one is of a time varying. The second one, that is P average xyz, also in watts per square meter, the unit will be same, is the time average of Poynting vector P. This also we call as P only, and it is a vector, but it is of time invariant. Here the first one is time varying, next is of time invariant. It means with respect to time it's not going to be changing. And the last one, P average, is the total time average power through the surface in terms of the watts. But first two are watts per meter square. It is in terms of watts, and it is of a scalar quantity. This is about simple topic, and it is very important topic. This will be asking in the exam for 6 marks only. Power and a Poynting vector. First you have to consider as a Maxwell's equation. Then take the dot product for equation 1 and also equation 2. Then rearrange the terms. Then take the integration. Then apply the divergence theorem. Then after applying the divergence theorem, you will be getting the total power leaving the volume is going to be equals to rate of decrease in energy stored in electric and magnetic fields minus the ohmic losses, that is ohmic power dissipated. That's about the Poynting theorem. Then write the Poynting theorem equation. Then define what you mean by a Poynting theorem with the diagram. Then what is the direction of the E and H for the Poynting theorem? You should take that. Then assuming for the equation E and H, then you will be getting the equation for Poynting vector. Next what you have to do? Next take the average of the Poynting vector. You will be getting the equation of these three. Okay, this is about the power and also of a Poynting vector. Now we will consider a small problem. Here in a non-magnetic medium, E is given as E is equals to 4 sine 2 pi into 10 raised to 7 t minus 0.8 into x of Az, volume per meter. Here the given equation is given. In this case, we have to find what is Er and eta. Then the time average power carried by the wave, and also the total power crossing 100 centimeter square of the plane, that is 2x plus y, is given as 5. First case, since solution is going to be alpha is going to be 0 in our medium, therefore, and beta is not going to be equals to omega by c, because it is not in a free space but it is of a lossless medium. Due to that, the condition it will be applying here. Next, beta is going to be equals to, based on this you have to we have to compare the standard equation of E with here. That is beta is going to beta z, right? Beta is going to be 0.8. Omega is of what? This part. Omega t minus beta z into Az. Standard equation. From the standard equation, we can write here. Omega is equals to 2 pi into 10 raised to 7. Then mu is going to be equals to what? That is for non-magnetic. You remember these terms. That is going to be mu is now it is equal to mu naught. Then f long is going to be f long naught into f long r, because it's a medium for that reason. Therefore, beta is going to be, use the equation as omega square root of mu into f long. Then omega is going to be mu naught f long r, that is going to be equals to omega by c into square root of f long r. Therefore, we don't know what is f long r. For that reason, square root of f long r is going to be beta c divided by omega. Beta we know, c is standard, that is 3 into 10 raised to 8 divided by 2 pi into 10 raised to 7. When you solve for this, you will be getting f long r as 14.59. Simple calculation, just you have to remember the equations, that's it. Then eta is going to be square root of mu divided by f long, that is nothing but Instead of mu, a mu naught you will be taking. Then mu naught f log r, that is going to be, we already taken this 377, we got the value, right? 120 pi divided by square root of f log r. We already got this value already. Just you substitute here, then you will be getting as 10 pi square, or else it's going to be 98.7 ohms. This is what we calculate f log r and also about the eta value. Next is of time average power. That is P is going to be E cross H. That is nothing but E naught square eta. In this case, it is given as sine. Observe here, sine. For that reason, here it will be sine square of omega t minus beta x into ax. In the theory part, we taken a cos, but here it is taken based on the problem what it is given, that you have to take. For that reason, here it is going to be sine square omega t minus beta x ax. Therefore, P average is going to be 1 by t, 0 to t, P of dt. That is nothing but E naught square divided by 2 eta ax. This will be cancelling off. That is going to be equals to E naught is of what value? Here it is of E naught is going to be 4. E naught square means 16 divided by 2 into, we already here got 10 pi square. That you have to substitute here 10 pi square into ax. Therefore, after solving this, you will be getting as 81 ax meter milli in terms 10 raised to minus 3 watts per meter square. This is what the B question. Next, about C question. They only given the what is the plane, in which plane it is moving. That is 2x plus y is equals to 5. Based on this, we can write the unit vector, that is an is going to be equals to 2ax, right? 2 comma 1 we can write, right? If you remember the same thing, 2ax plus ay divided by the magnitude of this. Hope you remember unit vector equation, that is a vector a divided by mod of vector a. The same thing here it is taken. Mod is going to be 2 square plus 1, that is square root of 5. The same thing here it is taken. Then the total power is going to be, P average is going to be integration Poynting vector average dot ds. That is nothing but, remember this equation, that is P average dot s into an. Next, P average we are calculated in the previous way. That part you have to substitute here. 81 point into 10 raised to minus 3 ax. Then about s, they only given what is the surface, that is 100 centimeter square. 100 into 10 raised to minus 4. Then an is of 2ax plus ay divided by square root of 5. Then just you multiply here, ax dot ax is going to be 0. Then only left part is, you will be getting the z direction. For that reason, when you solve this, you will be getting as 162 into 10 raised to minus 5 divided by square root of 5. That is nothing but 724.5 10 raised to minus 6 of watts. You can expect a problem or else a theory for 6 marks in the examination. This is about a Poynting vector and also about the power, a theory part and also of a one problem. Okay, we'll stop the class now. We'll consider the few more problems of this module, and then we'll go with the